What's going on, everyone, and welcome once again to another episode of Mind and Mateo. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in again. I love y'all. We're coming up on 3,000 downloads, and it still just blows my mind. I'm truly appreciative for every single one of you. Shout outs to my people over in India. You guys have been killing the downloads. I love it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and hopefully for everyone across the world that's listening, I'm just bringing some value to your life, and I'm kind of helping you through some of my personal experiences to figure things out, right? And so we're working right now in the last week of preparing for my son's birth. Samuel will be coming, hopefully, God willing, this week. His due date is this Friday. I believe it's the 27th. And it's super exciting, a little bit scary, a little nerve-wracking, but we are just ecstatic. We just can't wait to finally see him and meet him and go into this new portion of our life as parents. As weirdly as that sounds, to know that I'm going to be a dad, it's really weird and strange, but really cool at the same time. And so, so we've been preparing for that. That's kind of been the majority of our time, my time, and working and getting everything prepared. It's been really fun. Today, I wanted to talk about not selling yourself short. When I was thinking about just my past experiences and things that people, I think, could draw from to help them hopefully get past certain experiences that they may be going through or have gone through or things like that. One of the biggest things I think that came up when I started thinking about it is just the way that I viewed myself, and not just the way that I viewed myself, but the way that I viewed others viewing me, which is as weird as it sounds, is how I'm perceived in kind of like my social circle and everything like that, growing up and to this day, more so growing up. But when I started thinking about it, I started remembering how badly I wanted to fit in. and the reason why was because I felt so just a little just odd. I was kind of a weird kid, I guess, growing up. I wasn't really into all the other things that some of the kids were into, and so I like books. I like learning about things. I like quirky things. I liked cars and animals and all this kind of stuff. And I never really felt like I kind of fit in. And so I remember I was telling my wife this. I think Fresh Prince of Bel-Air saved my social life. I remember watching Fresh Prince and just emulating him. Will Smith, just to the T, and seeing that, hey, as I start to emulate this guy, as I start to emulate Fresh Prince, it seems more people like me, and they found me funny, and they were able to embrace me more, and so kind of molding my persona around that, I saw did wonders for me. But it made me think also how I sold myself short because I cared more about fitting in with the people that I knew then, and I didn't understand that you're not meant to always be around people all the time, right? There's certain people that are just there for a little bit of time. They're not going to be there all the time, and so I didn't know that. So growing up, I sold myself short. I sold myself short. I allowed my insecurities to turn me into something that may not have been my optimal self. Now, I was able to get a sense of humor and crack jokes and do all that kind of good stuff. Made a lot of friends, dated girls, all that kind of good stuff. But what I know now is more apparent to me, and possibly for you as well, is you have to be true to yourself. And I don't mean it in that kind of like woke, crazy, this is my truth or anything. No, nothing like that. I mean, you have certain things that you like. You have certain presuppositions or tendencies. You have certain things that you gravitate towards. For me, I gravitate towards things that are highly technical, things that I can go down and figure out. That's kind of the things that I gravitate to. I also find that I gravitate towards political. I like the whole debate concept. I like um, the learning of history and what has been, and seeing how those patterns start to recreate themselves. I really enjoy that. I also enjoy cars. I enjoy there's a lot of different things. Competition. I have a very high competitive spirit. I enjoy all these things, and so I've just learned that you have to be true, because those are your strengths a lot of times, right? Those are the things that kind of guide and drive your life. And if you're not playing into your strengths, you're possibly wasting a lot of time. Uh, if my strength is not organization, but I'm trying to make organization my strength, I'm going to shortchange myself, and I'm not going to get as much done as if I focus on my other strength, which, let's say, it's acquisition. Maybe I'm a people's person, and I can go out and meet people and network and all that kind of stuff. Well, if I focus more on something I'm not that great at instead of something that I'm good at because I'm trying to fit in or whatever, you're going to end up shortchanging yourself in the long run. And so that's kind of what I noticed is I felt the need to kind of fit in and go along and get people to like me. And it's just due to insecurities. It's due to the way that you view yourself. It's due to a whole bunch of nonsense that honestly is necessary to overcome. And so thinking about that, I just wanted to say a few things. You can't allow yourself to change just to become part of the status quo. You don't want to just fit in for fitting in's sake. Your life, whether you're in high school right now or middle school, or you're in college, or maybe you're just new to the workforce, or maybe you've been in the workforce for a while. You're working at a job. You've been there for 5, 7, 10, 15, 20 years, whatever it might be. I would just ask yourself, what is it that you want from your life, right? Because life is it's so finite, and it's something that once it's spent, it's not recreatable. Uh, and we're not guaranteed any number or any amount of time or number of days. And so, I would say, look at where you are right now. Look at some of the things that you have hidden about yourself, and maybe it's just time to step into a new circle, step in and surround yourself with new people. I know it can be tough to meet new people. I know it can be tough to kind of foster new relationships, but you have to take the time to figure out, are you acting just out of an insecurity, or are you acting out of an insecurity, or are you shortchanging yourself? Because if you're doing that, you're gonna make things harder for yourself in the long run. And a lot of people I see, they always they hide these quirky things about themselves, and you shouldn't hide it. Don't be ashamed about certain parts that you may think about yourself that are weird. If you could be a huge history buff, and your friends will think you're weird and strange and all this kind of stuff, but be real with yourself, and follow that path. If that's something that you are really interested in, you're passionate about, you feel like it's something that you are called to, that you need to pursue, you owe it to yourself, you owe it to those around you, you owe it to the world to see that through and see where that thing goes. And it's going to bring yourself happiness in the long run. So don't shrink yourself because you want to try and fit in or fit the status quo. One thing that I've also realized is I used to be very careful about what I said because I didn't want to offend anyone. But in order to grow, in order to learn others' ways of view and to know if your way of view is flawed or not is you have to be able to have open discourse and be able to state your opinion, state where you are in a way that is open to reason, open to it's not dogmatic. You don't just want to go into something and say this is what I believe and this is why I believe it and that's it. And you're never going to change my mind. It's one thing if you're very experienced in that area and you've done research and you continue to do research and you've kind of formed your opinion and you're basing it on a lot of facts and stuff like that. That's one thing, but especially when you're starting to just go down a path, you're starting to just learn about different areas of life, whether it be educational, politics, work, family, relational, whatever it might be. It's it's something where you have to feel comfortable stating what you think, being willing to learn and being flexible, and also being okay with the fact that there's going to be people that also don't think like you. And just know that through that open discourse, you can learn so much. And I find that you get also meaningful relationships because it weeds out people that may not be interested in the things that you're interested in. And that's okay. That's not a problem. But at the same time, you got to focus on growing. You got to focus on becoming the best you that you can be. You have to focus on making things happen in your life for yourself, for your spouse, for your kids, for your loved ones, for the world. You have to continue pushing forward. And you can't do that if you're always trying to fit in and shrink down and fit into the status quo and fit into those around you. This is a short one, but I hope in some way that this has helped you. It's a little bit of a nugget. Take it, break it down. Hopefully you could pull something from it. And be real with yourself. Be real with yourself, and you'll be surprised at the things that may happen. All right? Love y'all. Talk to you soon.